Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Knife Delights. This is kind of an impromptu live Saturday chat. Give it here a minute, see if we have anybody show up or not. I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of a channel update here this morning. So, don't have anyone in the studio yet, but not expecting a lot of people to show up again. Pretty impromptu, but a little bit of a channel update here. I've well, I've been under the weather for the last week or so, but a little bit of a channel update here. Whoops, hold on, I gotta mute my phone there. Anyway, I've been under the weather here for the last week or so, and I just haven't had a whole lot of presence on the channel. So I just wanted to let people know. I mean, I'm doing okay. I just got a really bad summer cold. Yesterday was the first day I went back to work, and I didn't even make it through the whole day. Um, I wasn't up to recording many videos. I wasn't up to doing the normal Saturday morning chat, getting that arranged. And I've gotten way behind once again on checking out other people's videos. I've watched some, but it's kind of like I watched it, but I really wasn't absorbing a whole lot. So I didn't comment on a lot of videos. I'm behind on answering the comments on the videos that I have put up. So please bear with me. I'll try to get caught up on all of that today. Take this moment here. I hope everybody had a very happy July 4th. Unfortunately, I was sick on the 4th, but on Sunday the 2nd, my friend Kevin and we did take a road trip, and we went down to basically Council Bluffs, Iowa, and we visited a lot of historic sites there. And so I'll plug my sister channel here a little bit, History Delights. If you've not subscribed to that or checked it out, please go to History Delights. It's a much smaller channel, but hey, I've got over 100 subscribers to History Delights already, even though I haven't really pushed the channel and haven't even really gotten that much content on it. But please go over to History Delights and check it out. We got some. If you're a history buff, why we got a lot of really good, especially local Iowa history that's on there, and I think you'll enjoy it. So please check out History Delights. I did get one video recorded on the small case Stockman in the Ichthys series. It's the got the smooth purple curly maple. That's this knife right here. Again, a small Stockman. So you can check out that video if you haven't done so already. That one, when did I put that up? Thursday or Friday, I think. So if you look at those covers, they are just gorgeous. In this lighting, you can't quite see. Well, here, let me see. It's almost like, gold streaks going through it when you look at it in the natural light. So Case did a really good job with these covers. You see those lines going through there? If you can't tell, my nose is pretty stuffed up, so still having a little difficult problem talking because I'm so stuffed up. One other one I did get another video I did get done and scheduled. It will be up Sunday, and I collect these Ichthys Shield case knives, and in the smooth blue ice, I did complete the whole family of these. There's 11 knives in this series, in this family. This is one of their peanuts, a case peanut. Little two-bladed jackknife here. Oh, get some glare here. Adjust my light here. I'll get this light. Or is it this one? There. I don't know if that helped or not. But anyway, so a case of peanut. But anyway, I did a video showcasing all 11 patterns in this family. So that will come up on Sunday morning. Be available on Sunday. One thing that I decided to do since I got the entire family in the smooth blue ice, I'm 2 knives short of completing the complete family of the smooth purple curly maple. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and try to finish this family out too. I'm missing a trapper, and what was the other one? Copperlock. So there's 9 knives in this pattern, or with these covers. Another thing I'd like to discuss is I wanted to say thank you to all the viewers and the subscribers that have been such a great support here to Knife Delights. I recently went over 1,700 subscribers. And another phenomenal thing is I have one video. It's called The Magnificent 7, and I go over 7 of my buck fixed blade knives. That video has, well, it's just went over 9,500 views. So it won't be long, and if it keeps up at this pace, and it's going to go over 10,000 views, and that is just absolutely phenomenal. So thank you everybody that has watched that video and watched my other videos. I don't have a scheduled giveaway time yet, but it's either going to be based on subscriber count, or maybe when that video hits 10,000 views, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. However, I'm not going to announce it, put it in the title or anything that it's a giveaway. I'm just going to, I'll do a video, and somewhere in the video I will talk about how to enter the giveaway. It's going to be, unannounced. And the reason is, and I know some other channels have been doing this also, is when you do a giveaway, you really like that knife to go to someone that's really supported you and been there with you and helped you along. Unfortunately, when you put, giveaway in the title, you get a lot of people coming by, and, they're just there for the chance to win a free knife, and then you never see or hear from them again. So we always like to give those, or like to see someone that supported us to receive that knife. Hey, good morning, Addicted to Blades. How are you today, sir? Yeah, good to see you. Well, it's just you and me so far, buddy. But then again, this was an impromptu live. As I was explaining earlier, I've been under the weather all week. I didn't even feel like recording a Saturday chat and making the arrangements, and I wasn't even sure about doing this live this morning. I'm still not up to snuff, but I just had to get out here and let everybody know I'm doing okay, even though, I haven't had much of a presence. Well, I'm sure glad that you're doing great. I still need to email you, and you and I talk back and forth. I'd still sure like to meet up with you one of these days. I know you don't live all that far away, and it would be great. I would love to be able to come and just do a video of you, using your katanas and your swords. I mean, you, my friend, are very talented. You have a lot of skill, and it would be fun just even to be there live and to be able to watch you do that in person. That would be fantastic. Well, I am on the mend. He says, hope you're feeling better, and I am feeling a little better, little bit every day. But since it's just you and me, we got kind of a little personal thing going on here. Is there any knives or anything you'd like to talk about this morning? Of course, there's always a delay with the comments and the narrative here, but if there's something in particular you'd like to talk about, why, please let me know. One other video that I just did, and it will be up on Monday, scheduled for Monday, and Byron Kennedy gifted me this classic cinnamon bone stag by Rough Rider, carbon steel blades, and it's their Camp King knife. And holy moly, is this quite the knife. So I go over this knife and kind of compare it to some of the other camp knives that I have, and this really is a fabulous knife. So be sure and catch that video on Monday. Well, let's talk about a little bit of blade rub. 1 Minute Knife Review did a video on blade rub, and of course it's most prevalent on Stockman knives. And I've been meaning to do, a video in response to what he said. I have not been able to get to that yet, but I've come a long way when it comes to blade rub. Oh, got my first case knife the other day. What kind of knife was it there? Be interested to know what you got. Well, good morning, Greg Vanderlip. Welcome. Welcome to this impromptu Saturday chat. Please let me know. I don't have any agenda. I was just kind of giving a channel update and kind of explaining why I hadn't had much of a presence lately this last week or so, but it's good to have you here this morning. Please let me know if there's something you'd like to hear me talk about or a certain knife you'd like me to show. So, yeah, I'm still not on top of my game here, folks. Maybe a little more Java will help me out. Nectar of the Gods, yeah. So anyway, I was talking about some blade rub, and I really noticed it when I got I started my case knife collection. Oh, Blue Bone Rogers Corncob Jig Medium Stockman. Ooh, can't wait to see that. I hope you'll do a video on that. That sounds great. That sounds great. So since we were talking, or I was going to start talking about some blade rub, and it's most prevalent on Stockmans, and that is because for most Stockmans, they got to bend one of the blades over just a little bit to get all three blades to fit in there. And then what can happen, if you can see it on there, it's right along here, right there, you get the blades rubbing back and forth. So this is, again, one of the first knives I kind of got in the collection. And they had another medium Stockman pattern with the smooth blue ice, and I got it, and it had blade rub on it also. And I was like, what is this? I'm spending good money on these knives, and I'm getting blade rub. Well, then I kind of learned that blade rub can be quite common on multi-bladed knives because you're trying to squeeze all these different blades into a tight area. And it also, when you reach in there, you have a tendency to push over on the blade to get your fingernail down in the nail nick there. You're going to push it against another blade as you're pulling it out. And so that's some of the reasons why you're going to have the blade rub. I've since kind of gotten over it on these multi blade knives. So you have no rub on it. Nice fit and finish. Great. Great. Happy to hear it. I just have not had good luck with the case knives. Every one of their Stockmans has had some blade rub on it. One thing that I don't understand though, and that is on the single bladed knife. Now this is a very budget knife. This is one of the marbles with the ram horn covers, toothpick, and it's a single bladed knife, and yet there is some blade rub on it, and you can see the blade centering's not very good there. Now on a budget knife, I mean this knife costs $10 or $11, so no big deal, you know, a $10 knife. But I do have one of the case knives, a slimline trapper, and it almost has a little bit of blade rub on it. That's a little harder to be forgiving on when it's a single blade. On the multi-blade knives, I can understand it. On a single blade, but I've learned to accept it. And part of that is, you know what? I'm viewing this as from a collector's point of view, because I don't, carry or use these knives. These are part of a collection. But if I was carrying it and I was using it, that blade rub would have no impact on the quality of the knife as far as using it. It's still going to cut, it's going to perform. And after you scratch it up cutting through things, you're not even going to notice the blade rub anyway. So, I think, because I kind of started collecting these, I think, in 2018. And when I first started, that was kind of when there was a big hubbubaloo over quality of case knives. And there was a lot of people upset, with their quality, having gaps and things like that. And perhaps that influenced me, and I kind of got caught up in it, and I began to be just a little bit hypercritical. But overall, you know, I love this Ichthys symbol, the Christian fish symbol, and so I'm going to continue to collect these, and I'm going to accept the blade rub with them. It's not going to be a problem. Oh, so he says he has just a little bit of rub, and J.O. Ventures made me a nice slip for it. Fantastic. J.O. sure does some fine work, doesn't he? Yeah, that is fantastic. So help me out, folks. Is there anything you'd like me to talk about this morning? Going back to this one, look at this ram's horn, the ram's horn covers on this. Again, for a $10 or $11 knife, it's fantastic. I've been thinking about ordering some more of this ram's horn. This is a marbles, full-size toothpick here. The only knife I have with the ram horn covers, but I should probably get more of them. Really nice. I like the threading down here on the powder horn bolster. I use this knife a lot. This is kind of an office knife for me. And talking about slips, look at this slip. Scout carry. Perfect for this toothpick. And this slip was made by J.O. Ventures. And it was commissioned by Terrell Snyder. He commissioned John to make this slip for me, and John's made it and sent it to me. So thanks to both John and Terry. I love this slip. And this toothpick just goes in there perfect. Yeah. Well, good morning, Fitbit. Oh, it's afternoon for you. Well, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing today? Well, we're slowly getting a few folks in here. Okay, a question here. Oh, Ron just popped in. Hello, Tom. I just logged in. You may have mentioned it, but is that a large or medium version? I believe it is the large. Well, let me. The closed length. The closed length is 5 inches. Well, I'm thinking it's the large. And I'll get an overall length on it here. We have an overall length of 9 inches. So I don't know if that's medium or large. I'm thinking that's the large version. I don't, I guess I don't know the measurements, what would distinguish a large from a medium. But yeah, 9 inches overall. Let me see here. No, how do I do this again? If I push on that, there we go. Hey. So ATB2, he says, I need to remove some rust from an old universal fixed blade. Any recommendations? Mineral oil. Um, for me, mineral oil has become the magical oil for me. It's it's very inexpensive. You can get it at Walmart. You find it in the pharmacy section because it's actually made to inject. Well, I don't know if there's different kinds of mineral oil, but the one you can find there in Walmart in the pharmacy, it's almost meant to be a laxative, so you can take it internally. So if you can take something internally, it tells me it's not going to harm it, not going to harm anything at all. I like to soak a lot of things that are rusty in the mineral oil. You can let them soak for 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever. And the nice thing about that is you can take it out and you can wipe it off and you can see what will just wipe off naturally without having to use any kind of an abrasive on it. So you can let it soak, wipe it off. If it looks like um, it could, you know, soak some more and it would get more of it off just by wiping it off, I put it back in there for another day or two. I do know there's a rust remover solution, and I don't remember what the name of it is, but Randy's WSG, he's used it, and I think Thrifty Kniffy did an experiment with it also, and it's supposed to be very non-toxic. However, I think with that, it's gonna like discolor the blades, if I remember right. I may be wrong. That's the nice thing about the mineral oil. If there's patina on there, it's not gonna, when you go to wipe it off and stuff, it's not gonna add to or take away from the patina, but the rust should wipe off. The big thing about for me with rust is trying to get it removed uh, as quickly as you can, because if it continues on and it starts pitting into the blade or pitting into the metal, you can't get rid of the pits without removing a lot of metal to get it smoothed out. Um, Ron says you guys don't use WD-40 to remove rust. I do not, and one of the things is with WD-40 is WD-40 is not a lubricant. The WD stands for water displacement. So it kind of has the appearance and feel of being oily, but it's really not an oil. And it does not have the preservative, what do I want to say, characteristics like a mineral oil will have. So, but for as far as initially, removing a light layer of rust, I'm sure it would work. Okay, we got North Star Knife Reviews. He's entered in. How you doing, Ray? Good morning. Yeah. And FW Glock Guy. I love using mineral oil. Yes, I it's cheap. $2. $2 gets you a bottle of it. there in the Walmart pharmacy section. You can use it over and over. Just get a little tub of little plastic container, uh, fill it up with whatever you want, put the mineral oil in, throw your knife in. It's not going to hurt a thing. Not going to hurt a thing. Okay, he says, so thanks, brother. It's hammer forged, not very smooth. Yeah. So, again, I don't know how, if it's just some light surface rust, the mineral oil would remove it all. If, it's set down into the metal and they're going to start pitting and this and that, now you get into like using a Dremel tool and some rubbing compound or something like that. But then again, you're going to be removing any patina that's on there. If there's patina, that would be the next step. And there's different, what do I want to say, different degrees of grit in some of the rubbing compounds, metal rubbing compounds. So you want to start with the lightest and work your way up. If it's really bad and you really want it preserved, then you have to start with the sandpaper. But once you start down that path, boy, you got to continue on with it because you're going to scratch your metal. So you want to start out with something like 400 grit and perhaps go horizontally with 400 grit, and then take 600 grit and go vertically with it, and then move up another one, maybe 1,000 grit, go back to horizontal. You don't want to keep going in the same direction all the time because you'll just keep deepening the scratch grooves. So you want to kind of go opposite each time as you go up, and that can take some work. So it all depends on if you want to do a full restoration of it and make it shiny brand new or something. You know Doing it by hand, it's going to take a lot of work to get it all nice and shiny. If you're just worried about getting rid of some surface rust, I would just stick with the mineral oil. So Glock guy, what experience have you had with the mineral oil? Can you let me know in the comment here why you love using mineral oil? It really has become my go-to, almost my first step, especially when I get a knife from an antique store. I will, on a folding knife, I'll check down in the channels down in there, make sure to get out all the pocket lint and anything like that I can get rid of. And then my very first step usually is just to throw it in mineral oil and let it soak overnight. Now, when you pull it out the next day, I've got a little strainer down there over a can. I throw it in the strainer and I let it drip dry for a while because it is a messy process trying to get all that mineral oil back out of there. But it's worth it. It will get down in all the little nooks and crannies that you don't normally get to. And it lubricates. It'll stay down in those little crevices. It doesn't remove rust, but it seems to loosen rust and other things up, so it makes it more easy to just rub off, and you don't have to use any kind of an abrasive. And yeah, it does have preservative characteristics to it. And Glock guy says, I've been using it for years. He likes using it because it's food safe, and I totally agree there. Totally agree. You don't have to worry about getting it on your skin. Like I said, you buy it in the pharmacy section, and it's meant as a laxative. So if you can take it internally, then it's certainly not going to hurt your hands or anything like that to get it on. And Glock guy says, what you are explaining is exactly the process I do. Yeah. There's a lot of knives, the old slip joint knives. The action has gone to them. There's just no walk and talk to them at all. You give them a good soaking and get them, clean out the pivots and this and that. And boy, on a lot of those knives, you can almost restore the walk and talk as if it was a brand new knife. Now, some of the used knives, they've been used hard and you're not going to restore it. That's just because it's, been used so much. But yeah. And again, you're not hurting anything. If it doesn't work, you're not out anything. You haven't damaged the knife any, and but it's just a good first step. So just so everyone knows, Ray and I, North Star Knife Reviews, uh, all summer now we've been trying to find a Saturday when we could meet up halfway, and it's just not working out. It has been a very busy summer, and my weekends are full. His weekends are full. He's got something going on, and vice versa. He gets one opened up, and I've got something going on. But one of these days, Ray, one of these days, I'm looking forward to it. So, okay, give me a topic, folks. Ask a question. Just ask me a question. Again, no agenda here this morning. Just wanted to chat, give everyone an update. How about we look at a buck knife? Yep. Yeah, NSKR is like his wife, she works weekends every third weekend. I've got Civil War reenactment events, and I've got other things going on. Lately, another reason why I've been behind on some of my work here on the channel is I've been working 6 days a week here the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it just makes it tough when you're putting in long hours and then trying to keep up with the channel. So hopefully that part of it will slow down here pretty soon. When we were talking about Stockmans, here's a really nice buck Stockman, and this is the one with the rosewood covers, and this is it has the blue shield to it. Oh, ATB says he's gonna go get some coffee and he'll be back in a few. Hey, can you get me a refill too? Yeah. So this model here kind of came out of what was called the Chairman series. And let me see if I can find my Chairman series knife. Oh, what is it? Nope, that's not it. I've got one here. Just gotta find it. So the Chairman series came out sometime in the 90s, late 90s, I believe. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. And this is a Buck 302 Solitaire. Of course, this is a made in the USA. Buck does make this single-bladed knife, but it's now imported. And this is in cherry diamond wood. Was in 2010. And the reason it's called the Chairman's model, as you can see, it has Chuck Buck's signature there. So Chuck would have been the grandson of Hoyt Buck, and it's Chuck's son CJ that is now the current CEO. So that's one of the reasons I really like Buck knives is, we're at 4 generations now of Bucks and the family ownership of that company. And I cannot think of another knife company here in the United States that the company's still within the family and it's 4 generations long. So, yeah. A 110 Chairman. Wow. Good a bet owns a 110 Chairman. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. I'm sure that's a beautiful knife. And Randy's WSG just joined in. Hello, Randy. How you doing today? How you doing? Yeah. So, North Star asks, what's your favorite fancy carry? Hmm. Wow. I'm going to have to think on that for a minute because most of my fancy knives are fancy knives and they're collectibles. What's a fancy one that I carry though? Well, okay. Hang on here. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it here. I don't know which bucket it's in. Oh boy. I'm a looking. Must be in the other bucket here. Not that one. I think I found it. Well, I guess one knife I would consider to be a fancy knife is this Bear and Son little bird and trout knife. It's got the stag handles and a nice sheath, and I have carried it. I have carried it. I carried it. I haven't had to use it, but I've carried it. So I guess that's one of my more fancier knives. Again, I don't carry my fancy knives a lot, to be honest. But if I think of something else here, wow. I guess it all kind of depends on the definition of fancy too. But well, Randy says literally just opened my eyes. Well, I'm kind of flying blind here. I'm not sure my eyes are even open yet, Randy. So for those of you that just joined us, I just kind of wanted to give a little channel update. Channel's doing really well. Um, just surpassed 1,700 subscribers. Just kind of made it over that little plateau there. I have one video that's at 9,500 views, and if that keeps up its current pace, in another few weeks it should hit 10,000 views. So, in view of subscriber count and perhaps the hitting 10,000 views on one video, which I think is phenomenal. That's the video on my Magnificent 7. That's on 7 buck fixed blade knives. I'm probably going to be doing a giveaway here sometime in the near future, but I won't be announcing it and splashing it all over saying giveaway, giveaway. It's just going to be, you know, kind of discreetly announced in the middle of one of my videos a couple times. And again, that's just so that hopefully when I do the giveaway, the knife is gonna go to somebody that's really supported the channel and has always hung by with me. So, and Ray asks, "What's Mrs. KD doing this fine morning?" Well, she happens to be out of state visiting her sister. So I'm kind of batching it right now. Next weekend, I need to go pick her up, which brings up a good point. I will be on RJ's live tomorrow, and that's at 12:30 Central, 10:30 Pacific. Please, everyone, join in for RJ's live. We just have a blast on that show. Great panel. The following Sunday, I probably will not be on because I will be out of state. Because for some reason, Mrs. KD wants me to come pick her up, and I guess I'm kind of obligated to go get her, and so she can come home. No, actually, I'm ready for her to be home. I really am. So, yeah, Ray, party at Tom's. I wish I felt up to partying. Yeah, that would be fun. So, yeah. Yeah, Ray, I like the bird and trout knives too. I got 3 or 4 of them, and they're just a nice, for a fixed blade knife. You can carry them. They're small, they're unassuming, but you still have the benefit of having a fixed blade because there are times, you know, no matter how good your folding knife is, nothing beats a fixed blade in some situations. So, so Ray, if it's going to be a party at Tom's, let's see here. I'll provide the pizza. Who's going to bring the chips and who's going to bring the sodas? Yeah. Well, I talked a little bit earlier about Blade Rub and how I've kind of, changed my tune on Blade Rub, and I've come to accept it in most cases and not make such a big deal about it. I've also come around in my thinking on budget knives and actually knives made overseas. And the big thing is with Buck. And again, back in what was it, 2017, 18, that time frame when I first started collecting, I started ordering Buck knives. And oh, ATB first cup, you got to get caught up, brother. Got to get caught up. Um, but I remember I ordered, I think it was the Trapper in with the wood grain covers, and I was new to collecting, and I didn't pay any attention, just ordered off a website, and I get it, and I was all excited, and then I saw made in China, and I was so disappointed. I'm like, I thought all Buck knives were made in the USA. So I kind of made a vow. I'm not buying any Chinese made knives. I just want USA made. Well, you know, I've kind of changed my thinking on a lot of that too, especially when it comes to Buck. The last figure I saw, and it may have changed, it's been a couple years, but the last figure I saw, they were producing about 80% of their knives here in the United States. I also know how competitive it is to compete with, Rough Rider, Marbles, all of these other budget lines when it comes to like slip joint knives. It's hard. Um, I mean, actually, with slip joints, they're competing against Case because Case has a large following, and so I can see why they've started to move production of some of their slip joints overseas because with the reduced price of them, they can still stock the shelves in Walmart. They still have, you know, shelf space there. But here's the most important thing to me. We saw a lot of knife companies, uh, Camillus, Imperial Trade, Kershaw, a lot of knife companies that just could not compete and they ended up going out of business and then their name was bought and the knives were made then over in China. To me, Buck is doing it smart. They're doing enough of these, the slip joint, like the slip joint knives, and now some of the moderns and a few of their fixed blades. They're having them made in China. They can still sell them at a discount cost. And I'm thinking that by being able to make the money on those knives, and this is probably the wrong word to use, but in a way it kind of subsidizes their US production. And I really do think that that is why Buck has been able to stay in business and keep, like I said, about 80% of their production here in the United States. They still focus. I mean, Buck's main focus, I think, is still on the fixed blade hunting knives. That's their bread and butter. But these by not having to concentrate on them and making them here in the U.S., it lets them continue to focus on their fixed blade knives and keep the high quality up and keep them made here in the U.S. And if that's what it takes to have some of their production overseas, um, you know, less of a headache as far as plant space and employees. They can contract that part out, make some money on that. It keeps the U.S. plant going and operating. That's kind of my thoughts on it. So I have, again, come around a long ways on foreign-made knives. Oh, and Ray asks, he likes the looks of the Selkirk. Do you have one of these? I do, Ray. I have the small Selkirk. I'll try to find it here. And this is a small Selkirk. And the Selkirk is named after a small mountain range, Selkirk Mountains, that are out west. And they may be in Idaho. I'm not sure. But this is the small one. And let's see, what's the blade length on this? It's got a 4-inch blade. And then they make a larger one, and I don't know if it's 5-inch or what. But got these nice micarta handles, removable. So a full tang knife. It's got this nice jimping right up here. Nice choil right there. Hollow grind to it. Yeah, hollow. Is that flat? Maybe no. That's a flat grind, I guess. What's nice is the pommel. It's got a fancy pommel to it. It's decorative, but it is metal. So even though you're not supposed to use a knife, for pounding, if you needed to crack open a walnut or a acorn or something, you could use it just a little bit. So it's a nice metal flat pommel on it. And this one is made in China. Now, the larger one, of course, it's some sort of thermoplastic variant type sheath. It is reversible, however. That's kind of nice. You can take it off here. So kind of an ambidextrous sheath. Just have a screw here so you can tighten it up or loosen it up. And you have some mounting holes here. And on the full size Selkirk, they have a little pouch along here. I think they have a whistle or a fire starter or something, but it's more of a survival type package. So, yeah. Oh, Rob 425. Oh, 452, Rob. A little dyslexic here. Welcome, Rob. He says, I just ordered another custom Shop 110. I got one a month or so ago with the 420HC. I really like the plain old 420. Nickel silver bolsters, red handles. But I couldn't stop wanting one. And Elk Stag with S30V. Wow, that's going to be a stunning knife. Wow. That sounds great. Yeah, you really can't go wrong with Buck Standard 420HC. You just can't. It's a workhorse of a blade steel. Buck seems to get the best they can out of 420 with their Voss heat treatment, and it really is fantastic. So now here is a USA made Buck fixed blade, and this is the Small Pursuit, and I really like this knife. It's got this rubbery type handle on it, so you get a real. It's not only very comfortable to hold, but with that rubbery grip, it's not going to slide around in your hand at all. In the wintertime, if it's cold, it's a lot warmer to hang on to a handle like this than it is most other kinds of handles. when it's real cold. But yeah, this is a fantastic knife. This is a small Pursuit, and they have a larger one, and this is the Select Series, which means it's a 420HC steel. That they also have it in the Pro Series, a small one and a large one. So there's 4 different Select fixed blades you can get, and then they have folding Select, and I've been wanting to get one of those. But they have a large and a small folding Select, and then you've got Pursuit, small or large folding Pursuit, and then they have that in the Select Series and in the Pro Series. So there's 4 different folding knives, 4 different variants of the Pursuit. So the whole Pursuit series gives you a lot of different options. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, I want to tell you what. We've been going almost an hour, and I really didn't want to go a whole long time. I'm still not feeling well. But again, I just wanted to wrap up. I wanted to say hi to everybody. I just have not been feeling well, and the last week or so, I haven't had much of a presence. So, again, I'm sorry if I've missed your videos, or if I haven't commented on your videos, or I haven't answered one of your comments. Hopefully, this weekend I'll get the feeling up to it and I'll get back into it. Also, want to say for any channels out there that if you'd like to be a guest on the Saturday chat, please send me an email at knifedelights@gmail.com. It really is easy to do. Even if you're one of the viewers here, if you have a knife collection and you'd like to get on with me for a Saturday chat, it's pre-recorded. It's very easy to do. It's a little intimidating at first, but it really is very easy to do. It doesn't. There's no special um, electronics you need or anything, like no special technology. It's very easy to do to do one of these recordings. So please send me an email at knifedelights@gmail.com. And oh, I did see that Slippy popped in here. Slippy, thank you so much for stopping by. And we have Steel City Knives. Hope you're feeling better, Tom. Yep, I hope to get to feeling better this weekend. Um, oh, 452 Rob says, hope you get to feeling better. I don't comment much, but I like your videos, fellow Buck fan. Hey, that's the most important thing. You know, we make these videos for the viewers. Without the viewers, there's no reason to make these videos. I would just go back to talking to Mrs. Knife Delights about knives, and I would get the blank stare and yeah, right, whatever. Oh, and we got John in the house. We got Mike Curtis in the house. Wow, fellas, I'm sorry you're kind of catching it here at the tail end, but I am just going to have to let it go here. Um, so until next time, I want everybody to have a very delightful day. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Take care.